Hey, what's up? I'm here to slay. Don't know why the rest even bother to stay. I know the game and I brought the skill. Crushing players' dreams, yeah, you know the drill.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 1224 podcast. I'm Kate.
And I'm Shay.
And we're here to talk to you about everything animation. In this episode, we have a guest with us today. He's been here before. We have our friend Jeremy back for season 3 again. Welcome, Jeremy. Hello.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Okay.
Chillin'.
It's good to be back.
Yay! We're so happy to have you. So this month, it's June. Right, guys?
It's June.
Yes, it's June. I have my Hot Topic shirt on from It's JoJo. I don't know. Yeah, it's June.
Is it the shirt that I gave you?
Yeah, it's a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure shirt. Of course, it's a Pride shirt.
I was holding my tongue in case it was Siwa.
In case it was...
Like JoJo Siwa.
What's Siwa? Oh, not that JoJo.
It's so JoJo Siwa stuff at Hot Topic now.
When the words JoJo comes out of my mouth, there's only two possibilities what I'm talking about. It's either JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or JoJo the Singer. And that's it.
Get out, leave right now.
The end of you and me.
Classics. I was trying to sell a friend on that show the other day, and I mentioned that oh yeah, there's an episode where they fight like an evil baby, and then the evil baby's punishment when they defeat him is like to eat the contents of his diaper.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Part 3.
Yeah, I don't think they're really that interested in the show.
You have to sell it to them. It's like if you get a fashion magazine, you give all the models in the fashion magazine names, and then you just let them fight with their imaginary friends.
That's actually how they came up with the idea for Super Smash Bros.
That's crazy.
Stop. Yeah, sure. You know what they all have in common?
What?
They're all gay.
Yeah. Woo.
That was an amazing segue.
Yes, so happy Pride Month. Thank you. I tried. We're all queer here, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But happy Pride Month to you all. And to our lovely, lovely listeners here. In this Pride Month special, we're heading back to Camp Wawanakwa with an even newer cast for the Total Drama Island reboot. You got your creators Tom McGillis, Jennifer Persh, and we have the executive producer and head writer Terry McGurran, who's the new voice of Chris, which we'll definitely get into. Former voice of Dawn from the spin-off Redonkulous Race, and if you know your Fresh TV lore, Jonesy from 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We all know 16.
16. Starting to find my way. Got a new job. No, I don't. Gonna start the mall today. The mall is 20 minutes away from me. I can't drive.
That's okay. I can't drive either.
I'm also not 16. I'm old and haggard.
You know, sometimes we could be 16-year-old girls. We're just girls. I don't know. Like, I'm just a girl.
I think there's a bit of issues involved with that on my end, but sure. And I know how to drive.
Well, aren't you special? Aren't you just so special?
That's what the doctors told me too.
Oh, wow. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yay.
Sending love. Anyways, it's currently releasing this month on Cartoon Network in the US, finally.
The first season.
Yep, finally. Many people like ourselves came across basically the first part of the season, I guess, if you want to call it like that, almost a year ago when it leaked, and then followed by the second season that came out early 2024 in January, I think. And now it's finally here for us Americans, so thanks Zaslav for nothing.
Yeah, man.
Me and my homies hate Zaslav.
Really got the ball rolling on that one.
Watch the first episode of the season.
Exactly.
He's a special case. We were just talking about how, like, not to get you straight away, but it has to do with Warner Bros. And how, like, they're no longer putting their IPs in Fortnite because they're trying to focus all their power into multiverses. So if we were ever going to get Cartoon Network, if we're ever going to get like Total Drama skins in Fortnite, that's a dead dream now.
Well, if I want to be Lashana Balosi in Fortnite, then what?
You know?
Not the Lashana Ball OC. There's a lot to unpack here.
Or what if I want to be Lashana Bridge OC?
Lashana Bridge?
Oh, you don't know about Lashana Bridge OC. She's new.
There's new layers here.
What?
I didn't know either.
Oh, total drama. The franchise that you are, it's either Canadians or French cartoons that, like, have the weirdest shit. But essentially, there was an announcement about a reboot, like, way back in, like, 2020, 21, during, like, quarantine times. And now it's finally here in 2024. That animation takes a while, / Zaslav sucks. To put it that way. Basically jump into the show itself, since we both seen the 2 seasons or the 2 parts of 1 season, whatever you want to call it, because we're in the age of streaming or whatever, or probably at the end of an era. I don't even know.
Yeah, cheaper to say it's 1 season and release it as 2, which is not the best practice, but that's just how it is today.
Yep.
That would be weird to do it with this, like, series, though.
Yeah, but what the weird thing is that All Stars and Pacatoa Island were also produced as 1 season. Pacatoa Island.
Oh, really?
It's season 6
Wait,
in
what?
universe, but it's like season 5A and season 5B. That's how they produced it. That's why it came out so fast
so
after
it's-
All Stars.
Oh.
So it's just like how with JoJo, part 1 and 2 are in the same season.
Yeah. It's basically just like one production code.
That's crazy.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so this isn't new for the franchise. Because, like, I remember, I think on the Total Drama subreddit, there was, like, a lot of debate, like, oh, what do we call Pacatoa Island? Because in universe, it's 6, but, like, technically it's 5. And I just remember being like, I'd just rather go in universe. Plus, it's just, like, a different cast and whatnot. So this isn't new for Total Drama.
Yeah.
The more you know.
The more you know, indeed. It's crazy that they did it, like, way back, even before, like, kind of streaming took over everything, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, I want to say that the excuse is like, oh, because they were doing, like, what is that, like, 26 episodes season before, but then you think of Revenge of the Island, and it's like, that was like 12 or 13 without, being double produced, so maybe
Right.
maybe that was just the practice early, because now you're seeing it with, like, the Cuphead show and, like, Sonic Prime, where it's like, we're gonna milk it by splitting it up into parts and releasing it over the course of, like, a year or so, but we're only going to give you, like, the budget of 1 season.
Right.
So it's weird seeing, like, that early on.
For the longest of time, I thought Revenge was, like, a full, like, 24 episodes, and then rewatching, I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
It's
they
that
get them
short.
out of there
That's
fast.
crazy.
I think even, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been, like, maybe 2 years since I rewatched, but I think, like, the amount of episodes outweighs, like, the cast. Like, I think there's 12 contestants with 13 episodes, I guess, so they can do some non-elimination episodes.
Yeah, because at least, like, from what I remember, because I'm not as big of, like, a Total Drama watcher as you guys are.
Mhm.
Like, from my understanding, it's usually just because there's usually, like, one, like, either a save episode or, like, a double elimination. I don't know.
Yeah, like a non-elimination episode.
Yeah, because this was, like, another. I was gonna ask this later. But do you guys know if there was, like, any season where they brought back a person who was previously eliminated, or no?
Season 1, Izzy and Eva. Season 2, I think Courtney, but I don't know if she was a competitor from the beginning or.
Yeah.
I think every season, Dakota came back briefly before being mutated.
Okay, I remember that.
War Tour had like a no, it was for people who didn't compete.
Duncan.
Oh, yeah, Duncan. Yeah. I think All Stars and Pacatoa. Oh no, because one of the twins came back. Amy, I think. Well, no, she didn't compete, but they still shot out the cannon. Oh wow, we really do know this stuff. Because it came to me like as soon as you said that, I'm like,
Right.
Izzy and Eva. Duh, everyone know that.
No, not everyone knows that, because not
The
everyone's
list.
a Total Drama Island fanatic. Some of us just watch a show sometimes and are like, oh, ha ha ha, Owen farted.
I live in such a bubble that it's like
Real.
that's pretty much the gist of it.
When you meet me and you ask me about Total Drama, I'll just spit out Total Drama lore, and that'll be the end of our
And there's
conversation.
a period of time where I'm not thinking about Total Drama, but it's like kind of like a sleeper agent thing where it just activates.
Yeah, like
Like
it
someone's
just
like, yeah, I
triggers
used to
you.
watch it, a Total Drama Island on Cartoon Network when it first came out, and then I'm like, oh really? Did you watch Action? Did you watch All Stars? And they're like, oh okay, yeah, we're two different people.
Yeah. Did you watch the spinoff? Cause I did.
And they're always like, I didn't know there were so many seasons. I'm like, huh, I live in a bubble.
The show can be very niche.
Yeah, I have a Canadian friend who just like he's never did it. I'm like, I thought you would be on it more than anything.
Canada lore. We could just jump into this new cast. Shay, if you wanted to start us off. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? My name is Shay. General spoiler warning for the whole season. It's a show. Okay, Total Drama is an animated series, obviously. Look at the podcast that you're listening to. However, the series is a parody of specifically the show Survivor, which is a reality show where people are stranded on an island and they have to survive. And Total Drama goes and satirizes that. Hence, the show is formatted in a reality TV show elimination format. Thus, there are spoilers. Please use your brain while proceeding. Thank you. Yeah. Also, Chris
Yay!
McLean is a psychopath.
And we love him for it.
Insert list of hate crimes.
Canonically a murderer, though. Canonically. So.
He started this time.
Well, yes.
Did he actually go to jail?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was before All Stars, and Chef went to pick him up from jail.
Aww.
Yeah.
I wonder how much the bail money was for.
That would be great. Because, okay. This is also an episode where I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. Just due to me I don't TDI like they TDI.
You don't TDI.
So.
Like it's a verb.
Okay, because at that point in the show, did Chris actually murder someone yet, or no?
Not directly. Oh wait, didn't
His interns.
Yeah, no, that's the most direct they'll ever get.
So would he have gotten for life basically, or I guess it wouldn't be first degree.
I think the studio probably protects them. I mean, they're probably the one that gave Chef the bail money. I doubt Chef makes a good salary to minimize jail.
That's true.
Yeah, the logistics here non-existent, I guess.
Yeah, I shouldn't be applying real life logic to the show either way. But once it comes to Chris McLean crimes, I will.
Crime.
I think once we got to toxic waste and mutations and robot man-made islands, I think that's when it's okay, yeah, this is not a serious world.
Right. All right. Hang on tight,
We
right?
started off. I want to say we started off realistic, but then you remember there's a cyborg a kaiju raccoon with a chainsaw in season 1, I think.
Yeah.
This is a throwaway gag. Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
I think the first season did a good job of kind of making it realistic, but still adding some, oh, this is just a cartoon elements. They sprinkled it a little bit, and then they just got a little wackier as seasons go on. But in the new season, I'm very glad that they brought back the regular island in Wawanakwa. Because I was a little confused when they brought it back. I didn't have a problem with it, but I didn't know if that kind of messed up continuity, because I thought Wawanakwa sunk in or something like that.
See, it's weird because they acknowledge they bring back Owen for season 2. There's a reference to Sean, I think, in season 1. And overall, it's Chris addresses it as a new season, not a new show. But at the same time, they just never explain it. So it's a soft reboot. It's kind of the Force Awakens of Total Drama, which is a crazy comparison.
Yeah.
It's if you watched it before, you can watch it. If you never seen it, you can watch it without watching the previous ones. But yeah, they just don't. They just don't address that.
Yeah, right. Because, Chris immediately says in the first episode of the reboot that it's 15 years. So, I guess, I don't know. Maybe they just retconned some things and said, okay, new season here, guys.
Wait, really? They say 15 years?
Yeah. That's what he says. Yeah.
I just did the math, and season 1 was 07, right?
Yeah.
It's 16, Chris, but sure.
The math.
Checkmate, McLean. Oh man, we are old. Huh. I don't think I like that. The Total Drama show is old enough to compete on Total Drama.
Oh my god. That's so true. They're in their teens. Wow, that's
Do we like that? Do we like that this is like, oh man, yeah, we are old.
honestly, it's mind blowing to think about, but also, my God, it's kind of crazy how far this show has come and everything. Like I think I guess because a lot of shows are coming back still in a way. I mean, like I feel like the age of reboots has been kind of slowly dying, but I don't know. Just the occasional reboots is kind of nice. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know how to think about it.
honestly, it was a complete shock to me. I never once thought that they would bring back total drama, at least in the format of what it was. Like after Redonkulous Race, and then we got drama. Everyone was kind of expecting like another Redonkulous Race season or back to basics like a normal TD season. And after Dramarama, I was like, okay, so this is what we're doing. Like the Teen Titans Go kind of era. Like, okay, yeah, so we're done here. But I mean, flash forward to now, I guess never say never. And I kind of made peace with that. But yeah, no, this is a welcome surprise when they first got announced.
Yes, 100%. We could just jump right into the cast and everything as it became such a shock to all of us. Shay, would you want to start us off on like I don't know, just general thoughts about this new cast?
I like them. I feel like with this cast, I feel more like just generally neutral about them. But then I remember that's how I feel about like the OG cast. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I don't know how to explain because all my thoughts about the actual show itself, it's like more like writing and plot based than characters for this time, I guess. I do like that, I don't know, like with some of the characters, since like Total Drama's already established like as like being such an old show. So like Priya's whole thing is kind of like meta, where it's like, oh, my parents were such huge fans of the show, so they trained me to be on this show. I don't know. I don't have like actual thoughts, which is weird. Besides like individual characters, like as a whole cast, I'm just like, oh, they're there. And also it's hard to, for me, it's hard to not compare this cast to like the OG cast too. This new cast feels more subdued to me. That's what I'm trying to say. They feel more subdued compared to other casts.
Yeah, definitely. I remember I was when me and Kate watched it for the first time, I was like, the I think the whole thing about Total Drama is that it was a parody of reality shows. So when you have the original cast, they're all like, specific like stereotypes and whatnot. Like you got the goth and like the punk, the bratty one, the rich girl, the sassy one, the nerds. And then I guess as time is going on, they have to like introduce new cast members. They kind of became like, this guy has, wow, this is going to sound very weird out of context. Like this guy has a mental disability, or this guy doesn't talk.
Yeah.
He's very smart. And we got like this one who has a rich dad. And so it was kind of still like grounded in reality, like, characters like Mike and, geniuses like Cameron, dumb jocks like Lightning can exist in real life. But then Pockettail Island, you kind of could tell that they jumped the shark a little too much. Like, oh, we got the guy who thinks the zombie apocalypse is going to happen. And we got like a Dr. Evil parody with purple hair. And it's like, okay, we're kind of shifting gears a little bit. But you still had like normal characters like Amy and Sammy. And I was going to say Dave, but he kind of went off the deep end. But
oh, Dave.
That was definitely kind of where it's like, ooh, this is getting less like realistic, which is kind of funny to say about a show that's like based on stereotypes. But like the thing is, those do exist in real life, like the nerds and like the jocks and stuff. So when you introduce a character like Max, it's like, this doesn't exist. This is a Discord mod. Like,
Yeah.
If anything, Max probably be more in line today. But I guess with Redonkulous Race and this season, it's kind of nice that they're less stereotypical than the original cast. Like you said, more subdued is the perfect word. Like they're like, this is the most realistic cast for the most part. Like they basically have no, like they all have like one word character, not character traits because they're all like kind of like complex. But like if you had to just like get them on the fly, they're normal people. Like characters like that could exist in real life.
I think too, as like time goes on, I think I also do want to, I don't know, and not really play devil's advocate, but also kind of like how as much as I love total drama, there are definitely like just some aspects of character stereotyping in like a racial lens, I guess. Um in the past and everything, and you also have like some racist elements that happen, for example, like in World Tour,
Yeah.
where they travel to different places. And I think with this season, with this new reboot, I think they kind of just rectify that and try to come up with more characters that are a lot more grounded in this generation. I guess having it not just like diverse, but also not making these characters so like as stereotypical as it was back in the 2000s, I guess. Which is really really nice to see that like kind of improvement.
Yeah, no, like it's definitely cool to. I think if I recall correctly, the only black characters were DJ and Lashana in like the first season, and like Lashana, less so DJ, but more Lashana was like. I mean, I think I wouldn't call her a racist caricature because she's still like 3-dimensional, but she is
Oh, for sure.
a
Yeah.
stereotype in the sense like stereotypes necessarily aren't always like a bad thing. There's just like it's like just something drawing from like amalgamation of what we see in media and whatnot. And I like LaShawn as a character, but it is undeniably a stereotype. So going on now, we
Right.
have like, and even DJ, like the gentle giant thing is kind of like a thing that's done with like black characters. If you look at like Wasabi and Big Hero 6, but like you said, yeah, it's kind of cool that nowadays like things like that now we can just have like characters who are just like that race just to be that race, but also having elements that can draw from real life. Like I'm speaking out of place here, but like Priya kind of having like demanding parents and whatnot. I know that can be like a thing in like South Asian households and whatnot, but they don't make that like just her thing overall. She has like more to offer than that.
Yes. 100%.
Like just like the general like subduedness of the cast, it feels like a double-edged sword for like at least for me when I'm viewing, because like I like how it's still realistic, but also I go to total drama not for realism. If that, I don't know how to explain it. like I wish like there were like zany elements, but like obviously those zany elements aren't. I don't know how to explain, because like it's not that it's not zany. Oh, I don't know.
I get what you're trying to say. Like there's a level of heightened reality, and you kind of need to find that blend or whatnot.
Yeah, cause I like that the show has like diversity, and like I do think like especially in the earlier seasons, like in Lashana's case, like while like you would say like Lashana falls into like loud black woman stereotype, it's like later on like she has like characterization, and then also it's just like how like it's more so too how like the show treats her. I think the other thing too was stereotypes. It's like you also have to consider how the show is treating them as like a character, and then also again like counter stereotypes and stuff. There's like a lot that goes into it. I should have written my actual like overall thoughts on the show down, because I have like thoughts like episode by episode and they're incoherent. Sorry everyone, this is not going to be a productive conversation on my end. Like at all.
You know, you're totally fine. I don't know. Sometimes my brain is just like, no, my brain's like this all the time. I've always had to like see any piece of media through like a DI lens if it pertains to that. I don't know. Like I don't know why. Maybe it's like the activist in me. You know, outside of this podcast and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't help but like see this kind of like celebration of like more accurate representation like in the show that I really like. And it even like goes beyond like race as well, because obviously it's our Pride Month episode, and there are a lot of there not a lot, but definitely openly queer representation in this show as well. With Bowie and Raj, and then hinting, very much so hinting, MK and Julia in the second season. Even then, outside of like queerness, there's also like Z and his like disability.
Yeah, what surprised me at first, because I think on purpose they kind of like didn't reveal that, because there was just a shock of him like getting his leg cut off, and I'm like, oh my god, like that's gore. That's gore for my comfort character.
Right.
He's an amputee, which was really nice to like see. And they don't really even really touch on it past that. Like I know that he uses it sometimes to like for challenges, but it's never a thing of, if that was something that existed back in like the season 1, there not only would have been like a lot more jokes about it, but like it would have been like a much bigger deal like to the characters and whatnot in universe. And that probably would have just been his whole character, is that he just has like, he's just an amputee. But here he just kind of exists with it, and he has like, he's the stereotypical like dumb character, and they focus on that before anything else.
Yes.
And he just happens to be an amputee, which like I think seems to be like what the case you can draw with like most of these characters, like because a lot of these, like Bowie is another example where I would say, oh yeah, like that is a stereotype, but like he just happens to be that he has like much more like to offer.
Yeah.
I like that, you know, it could have been even more stereotypical, like on like Raj's side and whatnot, but like he's a part of like, he's a dual character, I would say, in a sense, like, you know, Amy and Sammy, where like his whole gimmick is that he has like, you know, a bro, but he just also happens to be gay. And then, you know, it's multiple things like that where it's kind of nice that this isn't just their character, because I remember season 1, you know, every time Owen would like thirst over like Justin or something, they take a break to like have all the characters like look at him like as if he's saying something like wrong. So it's kind of nice that we came circled around where it's like, no, like we have gay characters now, because like when you rewatch Total Drama, and they do this a lot, where like Owen's like, oh, and he has a nice butt, and everyone just like looks at him like he's like, dude, what's wrong with you? When it doesn't have to be that. And now I'm so glad that like we've evolved with the times, because those jokes do not age well in rewatch.
Absolutely not.
Like the joke is that he's bisexual. Like, sure, okay.
Let Owen exist as he is. And also like just the whole like fat phobic jokes with Owen. They do not age well at all.
Yeah, which and even then, like his cameo, and then like with Dauntless Race, they still have that.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's a case where it's like that's too ingrained with his character. Like if he appeared nowadays and didn't eat anything, I'd be like, oh, that's weird. But definitely back then, that was just like, oh, fat equals funny, you know?
Yeah, that's like a problem with a lot of shows of the era too. Oh, Fairly Odd Parents. I was watching like Fairly Odd Parents. And there's like a bunch of jokes like that one episode. I was like, I'm glad this phased out. I'm really glad this phased out.
Yes.
Like as like oh ha ha.
That's funny, because I was thinking of Fairly Odd Parents, because we were talking about like racial representation.
Oh yeah.
Like I was watching a video and somebody brought up like I think there was like an Indian character, like in a brief little throwaway gag, and he just like spoke gibberish.
Oh,
And that was a joke. I'm like, ooh, wow.
Oh yeah, no. In Fairly Odd Parents,
Butch.
if you're like especially like an Asian side character, that shows up for one gag,
Butch Hartman.
It's because there's like also in like Fairy Idol, like that episode, because they're parodying the obviously it's parodying American Idol, and so like, do you guys remember like the guy on American Idol, and he was singing like She Bangs, She Bangs?
I know that song, but I don't remember like the actual instance.
Yeah, same.
In American Idol.
Okay, yeah. So like, there's a guy, he's Asian. He's like singing. So like in Fairly Odd Parents, they're like parodying that, but it's such like the way they draw him. You're like,
oh.
This is going back to like those propaganda days. Okay.
Icky.
Our Lord and Savior Butch Hartman and his well-aged cartoons.
Yeah.
2000s. They really let white people get away with anything.
But I think it's nice that Fresh TV thankfully developed like with the times and whatnot. And while we're talking about diversity and Owen and whatnot, it's kind of cool that like if you look at the cast of the reboot, like in terms of like body type diversity, which is also a thing I think they got better with in the original run of the show. Like if you look at some of the characters, like because we also have Ripper, who is kind of like the joke is that he farts a lot or like he likes to eat. But if you look at like characters like Emma or like Millie, they have like diverse like body types and they're not really the butt of the jokes or anything. So it is nice that we can kind of get that diversity, which I think like started with Pacato Island, like having a character like tall like Jasmine, and whatnot. But also that wasn't perfect either, because then you have characters like Sugar, who's also the joke is that she's fat and she likes to eat.
I mean, Sugar's like a whole like. Oh, maybe that's what I'm missing. I'm missing like more of the referential humor of TDI from like these newer seasons. I think that's what it is.
She's a Honey Boo Boo parody.
Yeah, because she's a Honey Boo Boo parody, and then which is like even more messed up because at the time Honey Boo Boo was like a literal child.
Yeah, they aged up Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah, and then in the first series, Harold is a Napoleon Dynamite parody. And I'm pretty sure the reason why Lashawna's name is Lashawna is referencing LaFonda, who is in Napoleon Dynamite.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
I never made that connection. I actually watched Napoleon Dynamite for the first time last year, and knowing that Harold's been like a parody, but I never made that connection.
Yeah, no, I watched that movie so much like in high school, and then I was like, and then I think I was watching like Total Drama Island like a few years ago randomly, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, is Lashawna also like a Napoleon Dynamite reference? And I looked it up and apparently she is. So
yeah, you're right. They kind of lose that like kind of like parodying real life thing, but I think you might be able to get that from characters like Chase, who I don't really know like that side of like clout chase YouTube because I'm almost 23 and I have a job. But I kind of saw him as like a David Dobrik, Mr. Beast kind of parody, but even then they don't go that far with it. He's kind of an amalgamation of all that.
It's not specific enough. Like I think that's my thing. I like when they get really specific with it versus like a general one.
Right.
Because like with Wayne and Raj, I don't think this is actually the case, because if it was, they would look different too. I thought Wayne and Raj were parodying Letterkenny, the two hockey players from that, but then I remember the show's in Canada, so that's just like every other person. So
yeah,
watch Letterkenny, it's funny. It's good.
I think that also might be because like for the best part, for better for worse, the same crew is coming back. Like we know Tom and Jen like came back, which I actually just discovered they have characters that represent the redonkulous race, the names, which is a cute reference. But yeah, they're coming back, and you know they were younger back in 2007, so they might have had those references like on hand and whatnot. But they probably just, because I think the most cringeworthy parts of this season is when they try to do like the occasional modern reference like Here to Slay.
Oh, the intro.
In the theme song or whatnot.
That.
Or what's up? My name is Shay.
In the promo, yeah, they should have made that the lyric. But like I think in a promo release, like in a description was like, oh, they have to like TikTok their way to the top or something like that. It's like something to say for promo. And I think for better for worse, it's kind of good they kind of let loose on the strict references, because it could have really came off like, how do you do, fellow kids?
How do you do, fellow kids? Yeah, no, I think the characters themselves are not very, but like kind of general, and obviously don't necessarily reference anything, but it's definitely a lot more, I guess, relatable to, I guess, quote unquote Gen Z like culture, I guess, with like Julia being like an influencer, for example, as well. But then she turns out to be like evil and kind of a shitty person. But it's like it it's not like it's not that cringe worthy, I guess, or like definitely not like on the nose about like making it too cringe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually, I think I brought that up to you too when you watch it. Like, oh, having, like, I don't know how intentional it was, but kind of having like this influencer, like that acts, that her whole gimmick was that she acted like she really cared for all these causes or whatnot, and then it turns out that she's just like evil and all that stuff is just for like clicks and whatnot, and money. That's kind of a big brain like take on influencer culture nowadays, because we have a lot of cases like that. So that's actually one where I'd say, oh, good on them. And it's just an evil character that, like, I'm kind of glad they didn't reference someone, because they probably would have paid a lawsuit.
Oh yeah.
Because trust me, there's a lot of ones you could pick from.
And I think even then Julia's ends up being like a really good antagonist. At least to me, I think.
Especially in season 2, she gets fleshed out. Like, they don't really mention the influencer angle. And she kind of becomes like a good villain in her own right. Which is why I'm glad that they did do 2 seasons with this cast. Because, like, that initial stereotypes that they would have been, like, they kind of break out of. So it's nice.
Yes, yes. Going back to Z's character, I really like the joke that benefits him, where he's like, oh, I just tell people like really cool stories about how I lost my leg, but that's not those stories aren't true at all. I was just born like that. Like, good on him, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I like Z. Yeah, that's it. I'm really not contributing with this conversation.
No, you're totally fine.
I like that he kind of like jokingly plays into people's like preconceptions too. I don't know, I just think it's funny.
Yeah, I do think there is like a stigma that able people can have. Like, they're like, oh, what's the story behind that? What's the story behind that? And really, like, it's just a chill dude who just like was, yeah. Now that you mentioned, I do like that. I forgot about that aspect. But can we just all, like, on the top of our head say our favorite character? I think you know mine's, Kate.
Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Obviously, mine has got to be Priya. I think I relate to her a lot. As an Asian person as well. But not South Asian, but like we all kind of have our like similarities of what it's like to have strict parents who basically not like Priya's parents, where they're like sending her to whatever camp and training her to become the best to that extent. But definitely I understand what it's like to work hard in order to like impress your parents, but also she is her own character on her own, and she's very quirky and fun. She's very adorable, and I really just want to hold her, because she should do whatever she wants. She can go to med school. It's okay. Like yeah, she's overall just one of my faves. Yeah, she's up there for me.
And who was your favorite, Bishay?
Julia, because she's manipulative.
Yeah.
Work.
I really
like
I
that's
kind of found her run of the mill villain in season 1, but season 2 when she's like plotting with like MK, that was just like, oh man, that was just a dynamic we haven't seen before, and I just loved it. Like, they kind of stuck it out through the end. They could have backstabbed each other. It was like a Heather and Alejandro situation, but like there was like a deep care there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I think season 2 is what bumped her up, because it was season 2 kind of made me change my character ranking in general. I think season 1, my favorites were Priya. Yeah, I think Priya was my favorite in season 1. Now it's Julia.
No, that's fair. Yeah, no, Julia really, like, most improved player season 2.
Be gay, do crimes.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite character would have to be Damien. Just an overall, I know me and Henry were both like fans of him. He's just like,
yes.
He's just so entertaining. He's so entertaining. He's funny. he got booted way too early last season. But the thing is, like, he also goes on like tangents about like specific like science stuff, which is like a funny ass character detail because they never elaborate on it. Like it's implied that he's kind of a frat guy. He has like the Omega symbol on his hat, but he's just like very smart. And also, I love that it's implied that he just has no idea what he signed up for. You have Priya, who signed, like, whose parents like trained her from like birth to get ready for the show, and then Damien just like, y'all doing this? I need to get out of here now.
Like, the thing is with Damien, because I like him a lot this season, but also I'm like, my brother, why are you here? You don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. You don't want to die. And then literally the next scene, he's like getting all his bones like discombobulated.
My God, that scene.
I think he's funny. I do like his little like science bits and like the moat challenge where he had to like challenge, like they were doing like the jousting.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, this is just like my RPG or whatever. And I was like, okay, slay.
He's so real.
Although,
yeah,
Damien in the fucking immunity idol stressed me out because like, oh, I'm gonna keep hiding it, and I'm like, you dummy, you dummy, don't do that. Stop changing his name.
Yeah, as a total drama connoisseur, I knew that like it was over from that point. Like, anytime a character that's not a villain finds an idol, or even villains, like when they find an idol, like they're never gonna be the one that actually gets to use it.
Yeah, because okay, this is why I was doing math earlier. I made a total drama island elimination and immunity chart for the whole season.
Oh wow.
And basically I gave myself points based on my predictions of the season of who got immunity and who got eliminated, and then ultimately like who is final 3 and then who wins.
Oh, that's fun.
I also wrote down parts that I predicted while writing notes that I got correct. I think I only got like 3 things correct. But basically, this is why I brought it up. So I have one for who would find the immunity idol and what episode it would happen. Because I thought it was going to happen episode 10. Because the immunity idol was introduced like episode 6, I think. And I was like, oh, it's going to happen episode 10. And then, like, someone is going to use it to, like, last minute, basically. And so for some reason, I was like, my prediction, who's going to find it, is Ripper.
No.
Or Wayne. Because I was like, I don't think a smart person could find it for some reason. I think it's going to be a fluke.
That's a subversion that they definitely would do.
Yeah, and then the next episode, Damien finds it, but he kept hiding it so much I had to, like, recalibrate, like, who's going to actually have it. And I predicted Julia, but I didn't count it towards my points. Or, I mean, this wasn't even a point thing. I was like, oh, Julia's probably gonna find it. Yeah, I wrote episode 10. I was like, Julia's probably gonna get eliminated, but she finds Damien's idol and uses it to stay. But that episode, Damien just lost the thing because he's stupid because she found it and he goes home. So, like, I was right, but also I wasn't. But also he's stupid for that.
When your favorite character gets the idol, you know it's a mark of death for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, I don't remember that.
Because Damien just gets like, he got way further than he did the first season, and his whole thing was that he wanted to get voted out, but then he realized like, oh wait, no, I want to stay, but it was too late at that point. So he got further than he did in the first season. I'm like, oh, does Damien have a shot at winning this? But he found the idol. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say my prayers now.
I'm gonna say that.
Oh, I should also mention, I also put Damien in my top 3 prediction. I got like 2 of those correct, but I could have gotten like all of them correct if I don't know, like later on. But I locked that in like midway through the season, or when there's like 6 contestants.
Yeah, I think there's just like something so endearing about a character who doesn't have much of an arc. The whole thing is just that, like, no thoughts hid empty, but he's not like a dumb character, but he's also not like one of the smarter characters.
Oh, no.
He's just like, he's just so vibey. Like, I feel like if you translate these characters to real life, he's probably the one I would like hang with the most, because he's just a guy.
He is.
Yeah, I just think he just overthinks too much. That's his problem. I mean, granted, again, this is Total Drama Island, so you kind of have to.
He's never seen any episode of the show, apparently, so this is all new to him.
He doesn't TDI.
Yeah. So yeah, he's Shay's self-insert, yeah.
Which, like, is honestly extra impressive that, like, both seasons, he's gotten pretty far.
Oh, for sure.
That's actually really impressive. I know Priya's kicking herself.
See, that's another thing too, is that I thought the natural thing would be like, oh, he doesn't know this show, so that's why, like, at first I think me and Kate were like on the ship train for them, like as in SHIP. I think I said the word wrong, so not like
for Priya,
not like potato chips, yeah, ship. I'm
Yes.
I'm self-conscious about the way I'm saying it, but yeah, like I thought that would have been the case, but then like they just interact. Like, they have, like, say, like, 2 words to each other in season 2.
They did, like, barely interact, and, like, I do wish, like, I could see more friendships amongst, like, different characters of the show.
Yeah, that's another thing about these short seasons, is that, like, you kind of give these characters one storyline, and, you know, there's so little contestants that by the time they get eliminated, like, the other one gets eliminated, like, further off, too. Because, you know, the first season, it was like Priya and Millie, and you had like brief interaction with other characters, and then Millie makes it pretty far. Like, it's weird how I'm trying to word it, but like the character that this character has interactions with, they make it with them. Like, they get eliminated close together, so they don't really get a chance to like interact with other characters. Like, because Trent gets eliminated early on in season 1, not super early, but like for a cast that big, pretty close to like the middle-ish. And Gwen has to interact with like other characters at this time, despite that being like her main storyline. And I feel like with these shorter seasons, like Priya and Millie, you know, then her and Kayla basically take up all of season 2, like with their story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then MK and Julia get eliminated. I'm looking at the elimination table right now, and they get MK gets eliminated like a couple episodes before Julia. But like, what I'm trying to say is that like these characters that they have like interactions with, Chase and Emma, yeah, they get eliminated like pretty close to each other in both seasons. So it's like they'll be get a chance to have other friendships, which I think is lost in it. Because like Gwen, for example, like bringing her back up, she has some pretty good, like her and Lashana and Bridget and whatnot. You think of those friendships, and you think of her like actually getting to know Owen, and you're like, oh, it's pretty cool. And then that episode with Jeff too. Like,
yes, I
liked
love that
how
episode.
they kind of put characters who otherwise would have probably never talked or had like one-off jokes with. They put them in situations where they kind of have to, you know, interact. And then that is something that I do miss from this, because like something that you do want to see, you kind of get crumbs of.
Yeah, because I also think too, it also just kind of sucks for like other characters that could get more development, especially like the previous season. Like, some characters still don't get like a lot of time, in my opinion, to have interesting things happen. Because the one that made me upset, okay, I'm referring to all my notes again, basically every episode was me being like, no one can make me hate Nichelle. No one can make me hate Nichelle ever. And so I was like actually like, really rooting for her to get pretty far. And then like the contract thing happened.
Yeah.
And I was on my floor crying. It's too much a reaction for like a character. It's like episode 5. Like it's really early on. But I was like, oh, I kind of wish like she got farther, or like Emma got farther, because like I don't remember how far Emma got like last season.
She got pretty close. Her and Chase got to like the final like 6 or 7, I think.
Okay, because I just remember I just want to Chase eliminated from like the jump last season.
Understandable. He sucks.
And he just didn't go away. And then he did go away this season, like pretty fast. I was like cheering. Like, I was so cheering. I'm so sick of him and his Lego piece hair.
Lego piece hair. That's a good
I
one.
was so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think with Nichelle, like I really like her, and kind of like in a similar situation with Damien, like she really improved of like, oh, I can't actually do my own stunts and I can't actually like do really cool things, but I've actually done some training now and I'm better now, guys. Like,
Yeah, because I also want to see her go head to head with Priya.
oh, for sure.
Just because, like, again, Priya, like, trained for this, so, like, Priya's, like, very, like, athletic and, like, can kind of do the same stunts and stuff. But then I remember it's Total Drama Island. So it's something stupid's gonna happen. So someone's gonna get eliminated. Like, if you want, I don't know, like, I was like, something's gonna happen. And, like, the way that, like, they're writing the plots, I'm like, Nichelle's not gonna make it to the final at this point. Or, like, I don't know if she is. It's, like, very ambiguous. I just didn't expect her to go out that early.
Yeah, that's another example where it's like, man, if this was like a longer season with non-elimination episodes, like, she would have had, like, friends, you know, like, she would have built up, like, so it'd be a bit more emotional seeing these characters go, because we know that, like, there's characters that would miss them. Like, my knowledge of both seasons, like, Nichelle didn't really, like, get close to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's, like, the first season kind of makes sense, I guess. But, like, now I'm like, okay, it's season 2. I want to see, like, more interactions amongst, like, different characters. I want to, like, see what, like, X character's dynamic is with X character. I don't know, like, they definitely could benefit from, like, a longer season. Or, like, non-elimination episodes, definitely. Or, like, even if they, like, had an episode where they brought someone back, that would be really cool.
Oh, for sure.
Also didn't help that there's, like, a double elimination this season. So
Yeah, I think that's another case of, like, basically they have more cast members than there are episodes, so they have to do a double one. Because I think, yeah, so in season 1, there was, like, Wayne and Raj got eliminated, double eliminated, because they got injured. And then season 2, like, there was a three-way finale, so there's more contestants than there are, like, episodes to have, like, that consistent through line, which I guess is to throw things off.
I just really miss non-elimination episodes. Like, the 13 episode format works for total drama, but, like, things could be way better for a full 24 episode season.
granted, with this double elimination, I was fine with it because I was sick of Axel and Ripper together. Like,
Please.
deeply sick of it.
What was the reasoning?
It's so, like, oh, okay, what did I write? This is episode 7. Let's look at the notes. Let's tap in. Oh yeah, this is the cake episode. 1, I was, like, having a lot of fun because I like baking. 2, nasty episode. This was the episode I was like, they need to leave. Or at least Ripper needs to leave because I can't stand this. I can't. They use his sweat as yeast.
That was crazy. I was just gonna say that, like, mentioning, like, all the gross stuff that usually happens in total drama, I'm glad that it didn't happen in the second season, because the first season was pretty bad, especially with Ripper, where there was not both at the same time, but a barf and fart episode, like, with those kinds of challenges.
The fact that you even have
in
to
the
say
first
that
season.
sentence.
No, really. I didn't expect that to come out of my mouth in 2024. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, the barf and fart episode. It's so casual.
Separately.
The thing is that I know at one point I wrote, like, oh, I kind of wish they showed the puke. But, like, because I was like, I don't have, I don't remember the name of it. I'm fine with throw up for some reason, Total Drama Island. But, like, the episode from season 1 was too much, even for me.
Yeah.
This cake episode is just plain nasty. Because they're like, oh, it's like a natural yeast. I don't think that man showers. I'm sorry to Ripper fans if there are any.
I hope not.
I don't trust it. Because, like, it's bad enough, like, in, like, what is it? There's, like, another episode that's not Ripper. Like, Damien, like, says, like, what did Damien say? Basically, it was this show. It's, like, it's nasty, but it's just because characters will say something. or someone's putting sweat in a cake. And I'm like, that's just
Why?
not, like, I'm like, this is just gross on, like, a logical level to me. And that's why it's more gross than usual.
Who came up with that?
Which makes no sense, because I love Pitch Perfect. I watch the opening scene of Pitch
Oh my
Perfect all the
God.
time.
Yes.
Why is me watching Total Drama Island animated show where they're talking about, like, sweat and not washing their butts more gross than that? Why?
Mhm.
Why? Where,
Why Fresh TV? Why?
like, they're like, it's like Chris will be like, this is so good. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know.
all this to say, yeah, Axel and Ripper, glad they went that episode, but also I hate that was a double elimination.
Understandable. Double-edged sword. Oh my goodness. Specifically with Ripper and Axel, that just came out of left field for me at least. I don't know about you guys.
Oh
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded if it was just, like, one-sided for a long, long time, and then, like, near the end of their run on the show, it's kind of hinted at Axel likes him, or, like, it's, like, showing Axel's warming up to him, kind of like how a rash grows on your back. Other than that, like, it was just so...
Yeah, very much a Flanderization on Axel's side.
Yeah. Because I was also, like, disappointed, because I was actually really excited to see Axel, like, kind of, like, do stuff, like, do more stuff.
Yeah, second boot in season 1. Wow.
Yeah, like, so I was like, oh yeah, Axel's, like, getting pretty far, like, let's see what she can do. And then it's like, now she's preoccupied with Ripper. Now Ripper's not even doing anything. And I don't like Ripper, and I'm frustrated.
We all hate Ripper. Like too, I was a little curious because in the end of the first season finale, there were like shots of like Nichelle and Axel like sitting next to each other reacting to like, you know, what's happening in the finale, and I thought it was like gonna be like a hint at, oh, maybe they'll become friends or something, or, you know, get together, I don't know, gay people or whatever. But I don't know, Total Drama did not give me what I want by the end of that, so
I think our solution here would just be like, let's just keep the ball rolling. Let's do like a season 3, a different setting, you know, like, because I do want to see these characters interact. Like I do. I'm still, you know, breathing copium in. Let's have a Damien Priya love triangle.
Yes.
Let's have like, let's boot Wayne or Raj early on, see how they interact without them.
Yeah.
Let's break up some of these conventional characters, except for Julia and MK. They still need to like have that kiss. So yeah, I just think there's more to do. Like there's a lot of untapped potential with this cast. I'm just wondering, like, oh, if it does get renewed, are we gonna like have these guys again? Because like I'm kind of burnt out on the whole like, hey, introduce a cast and get rid of them thing. Especially with the first cast, because they had like full seasons to develop them. Now I'm like, okay, if we're gonna keep doing this like 13 episode format, like let's just keep the ball running and like these characters more, because I feel myself growing towards them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us more dynamics that we haven't seen before. Like Lauren and Damien is kind of like a funny one, but like let's have like, do we want to go deeper than that, or do we want to have like, how about Caleb, Chase, and Emma?
Oh, for
like,
sure.
let's have them interact with other characters. Like Chase kind of had like a bro thing going on with Ripper. That was interesting. Like, or let's have Emma heal from their relationship and maybe she like dating someone else. Like, let's just switch it up.
I think that's why when I, like, with Emma, like, I do kind of wish that, granted, Chase was, like, kicked out pretty early. Yeah, no, I don't get why they would kick out Chase so early, but not have Emma proceed through the series a bit more.
They have her get over him as like part of her like development, and then in the finale,
Yeah.
like she gets back together with him or whatever. It's like, okay, sure.
Because also, the episode she gets eliminated made me upset. Okay. Episode 4. Where are my notes? This is actually really helpful for me. Episode 4 legitimately made me so angry just because of Priya's decisions as team leader. Like, genuinely, it made me so upset and a bit aggravated. because I feel like it took too long for her to utilize Emma. For context, this episode, like, they're on, like, a bridge thing, and they're basically taking a physical standardized test, and if they get the answer wrong, they drop to their deaths. And the thing is that they kept letting Emma choose the answers, even though every time Emma is wrong, because there's only A and B answers, like, there's no, like, extra ones. And I feel like it took too long for them, especially, like, with Priya putting too much of her trust in Emma, to realize that Emma's answers are obviously, like, wrong each time. So they should have been using that to their advantage from, like, after, like, the third time. And it genuinely, like, made me annoyed to the point where at elimination, I was like, I feel like if the show was, like, logical, and like, they weren't, like, setting up, like, a plotline with Priya, she would have went home because of that, and also because she's team leader. But then again, I remembered I'm watching a 2D Canadian cartoon where nothing is fair, and they hate me, and they hate my life.
Yeah, that's total drama for you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a season where my favorite character like won. So yeah, I've come to terms with it.
My favorite character is Noah.
So you know pain.
So, like, I don't usually care about who wins. It's just, like, more so when I'm watching the challenges and it's, like, something that I'm, like, they should have noticed this much earlier, like, to the point where it's, like, a little aggravating. The thing is with Total Drama, it's a very, like, it's a good show, which is why you get invested, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, obviously, like, this episode, I'm invested in the challenge because I'm frustrated, but I don't know, I thought it was, like, not, like, a weird, like, super weird thing for Priya, but I think it's just, like, with, like, her background being established, like, in the first season as, like, being like, oh yeah, like, I'm a, like, strategist and stuff. Like, I'm surprised that she didn't, like, think of that much sooner before, like, they're gonna lose the challenge. And they did. Yeah, that's the episode where Emma goes home, which, like, makes sense. Because, again, like, that's when they're, like, setting up the Priya and Caleb thing. But I'm like, but genuinely, I was like, this is actually, like, annoying the way it happened.
Yeah. Speaking of, how do people feel about the whole Priya and Caleb thing? Because for me, initially, I thought they were cute. Like, I was like, Priya and Damien will always be my number one. But okay, I kind of see the vision with this one, because they interact with one another, and they kind of just, like, talk about their, like, experiences and how they kind of, like, relate to one another, because Caleb goes to, like, MIT or something, and he has to work really hard for that, and, like, Priya could relate to that. And then the whole Priya likes Caleb, but Caleb doesn't like Priya until, like, they interact more, and it's more of, like, an alliance than anything, or he says it's an alliance just to, like, project. It's like, I don't know, this is a weird comparison. It's like Spy Family with Lloyd saying this is just for the mission.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just thinking that.
And Caleb's like, I'm gonna be with Priya for the alliance. Like, come on now. It's more than that, but okay. And I think by the end of it, for me, Caleb just kind of fumbled by the end of the season, where Julia, like, kind of fucks up their relationship.
I like that dynamic in the beginning, also because, like, I don't know, I like a good manipulation in Total Drama Island. If it's not Total Drama Island without, like, some manipulation.
For sure.
But also I was rooting for them intensely, because, like, I'm like, he's gonna fall for her. Yeah, it's, like, the one thing I, like, wrote. I was, like, super early on, I was like, oh, he's gonna fall for her, and there's gonna be some, like, weird misunderstanding thing that goes on. And I was right.
Yeah.
Like, I liked them more in the beginning than at the end, I guess.
Oh, for sure.
I don't like that they actually, like, got together, like, their boyfriend-girlfriend. I don't know. Like, I wish that...
What would be the ending you would prefer?
I don't know. Like, I think it was just, like, them saying, like, oh yeah, that's my girlfriend. And I'm like, that's really fast. That's, like, a lot of, like, trust really fast. Both of them, like, it's a 13-episode season.
Yeah, that's just the thing. I just think that, like, man, like, they really... kind of push these out. But I do like that relationship as well. It's really is an interesting case of like the first boot coming back, because this is the first time we've had a new cast return like fully. Like Revenge of the Island went straight to All Star, so now everybody got to come back. But like you see in Revenge of the Island and Pagatail, like Beardo and who was first? Stacy, and like those are characters that were never going to return if they didn't bring everybody back. But like it's interesting that they had someone place who get eliminated first in season 1 make it to the final 3 in season 2. That's even unheard of, because you know Ezekiel and whatnot. Like that's crazy. I think it was good development for Caleb, who I thought was kind of like generic in season 1, because he didn't really get that much time
I mean,
to develop.
he got booted for.
No, yeah. That's what I was trying to say. I was saying, like, yeah, we didn't, like, he's kind of generic because we didn't get time to develop him because he got booted first. But then, like, him coming back, I'm like, okay, what are we going to do with this? Like, I thought it was going to be like a Justin retread, like the pretty boy, like, you know, coming back for blood and whatnot. And that kind of was what it was. It turned out to be something a bit more sweet and less sinister. Like, oh, he can be the villain this season. Then it turned out it was, like, Julia again with MK helping out this time.
The one note I have for Caleb, because like I was trying to place what his voice reminded me of. This is gonna sound really mean.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that like at some points he kind of sounds like Miss Piggy from the Muppets to me, because like the amount of like air and like and how the inflections are. This sounds like an insult, but I should let everyone know I love Miss Piggy deeply.
Yes. Yeah.
I just like sat there. I was like, what? I'm like, who does he remind me of? Like, why does his voice like? What does this remind me of? Like, oh,
that makes sense though.
Muppet. Yeah,
they kind of have the same inflections. Yeah,
but I liked him overall. I thought like, I think it's just funny. He's like, I'm just doing this for the alliance. And I'm like, you're too nice for an alliance. I'm gonna be very honest with you.
This goes way beyond an alliance. Like, come on now.
Yeah, and then also like at the end, even like when like cause the whole thing too. Like, obviously, Julia's not gonna play nice, and he was still so nice to her. I was like, oh, you sweet summer child, you're gonna lose this whole competition because of that.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And what did he do?
Yeah.
He lost.
Lose.
Yeah.
Speaking of Julia, what are the thoughts on her and MK? Like, give them to me.
They should kiss. Well, who said that?
Oh,
Terry?
man.
Terry?
Like,
is that
phenomenal.
you?
Phenomenal. It was great. Like I didn't. It's the duo we didn't think we would have, but the one that we deserve. Like that was. I haven't like usually watching total drama. I'm like, okay, like this is the natural way of things going. Like it kind of builds up to that. Like when they started doing like Bowie and Raj, or like Priya and Caleb. Okay, yeah, I see what they're doing here. Let's watch how this plays out. But then those two, I'm just like, this is fun. This is a dynamic we haven't really like seen before. And there's been similar ones like Ala Heather, but this is like this is cool.
I love two manipulative evil people.
I wish we need more of them. And they see it's a weird case where like I don't think it's queer baiting, because like it's very explicit, but they never go far with it, which makes you think like, is this part of their plan, like for another season 3 maybe, or because it's like it's very obvious. Like I don't know, queer baiting is like we probably can't do this because of the studio or whatnot, but they have a gay couple in here, so it's like what were they cooking?
Okay, here's the vibes that I kind of get off of it. This is like one of those like really really intense like female friendships. However, they just need like the little push. That's what it feels like to me.
Oh yes.
So it's not like necessarily like queer baiting, because like even though again they should kiss again. Who said that? Whoa. It is also like they just come off as like really close friends still, without like completely. Like that's the only way I could describe it. It's like one of those really really intense female friendships where like in retrospect you're like, well, that's kind of crazy. However, they will go get that push later on.
Yeah, I thought it was like happening.
Yeah, no, I did too.
Yeah, I think it was definitely what's testing the waters.
Kate sends like Terry's tweets to me. So I genuinely thought it was happening. But so when it did, I was surprised. But like I can also see why it wouldn't happen. Again, it's just like that very specific circumstance, like mentally to me. It's not like Catra Dora or like Rose and Pearl levels. They're
Yeah.
like dead middle, which is why like I think it doesn't feel like queer baiting.
For sure. They're both just genuinely evil people. Like but they both have an understanding of one another. Like when MK got eliminated, Julia's like, "I'll be sure to share the million with you." And then MK's like, "No, you're not going to do that." And she's like, "Yeah, you're right." Like it's they have a mutual understanding. Like you said, Shay, it's the intense female friendship that needs a little push. That's such a good explanation. I can't.
Yeah, it's intense film friendship, but it's not as intense yet because you know next season's probably really intense. You're like, okay,
Oh wow.
and you're like,
Yeah.
let's get to it, okay?
Let's go, lesbians. Let's go.
Let's look at what month it is and
Look
figure
at
it
the
out.
calendar. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's so funny. We bring up Terry because Terry is such okay, so he's a white man, right? But like in his bio, it's full on caps like ally with the pride flag and the trans flag, and he's so funny. He's so funny to me.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through it right now.
But like he's such a great white man because he's so active in the Total Drama fandom on Twitter. It's kind of crazy cuz he responds to everybody, and like whenever some problem happens, he has the like decision to like respond to things, and I'm like, "Terry, you don't have to answer to everybody." Like you can put the phone down for a bit if things come up, but it's definitely when it comes to good things like reposting fan art and stuff, he's like the number one MK Yulia like fan. Like literally. He's a big supporter of that. He makes it
Yeah.
known, and then when people have a problem with that or like saying some homophobic shit in general, like about like Raj and Bowie being openly gay, it's like he's there to stand up. Like he does not play, which I'm very happy to see. So I'm having my fingers crossed for next season to be that if the cast stays, which I really hope they do.
Better if he's the biggest MK. Like, I can't I hate this ship name.
MK Ultra.
Thank
MK
you.
Ultra, MK Yulia.
Yeah, if you're the biggest MK Yulia fan, Terry, yeah, stand on business. Put them in.
Stand on business.
Put them in.
I'm ready for that. Because it's just so fun, which is like, I mean, it's total drama, it's a cartoon, so it's of course it's fun, but it's like it's a different type of fun where it's like I enjoy this despite them trying to screw over my favorite characters. Like I enjoy this. I'm very glad that it happened, and I've always sided like I've never been like a fan. Well, not like I'm against it, but when it comes to total drama antagonists, I'm usually like more of a fan of like the good guys or like the characters I know that aren't gonna win, but they have like a lot of personality. But like those two, I'm like, oh, this is like sick, you know?
Yeah. You know what I just realized though?
What?
Remember when we were talking specifically about like total
Yeah.
drama stereotypes and stuff and references?
Mm-hmm.
MK is a reference of Aquafina's character from Ocean's 8.
Yeah, I call MK Aquafina if I can't remember her name.
Oh yeah.
Real?
Because she just sounds like
Just
Aquafina.
her.
That's why.
That was the vibes I got as soon as as I watched them. Like that's Aquafina's character in Ocean's 8. I watched that
Wow.
movie for my birthday in
Jeremy month.
2018.
I take back my statement about
And
saying
I
there's
guess it
not
stuck
enough
with me.
references done. I'm so sorry, Total Drama Island.
That's actually kind of funny because I don't know. Like that's such a random reference to me. Like
It is.
who
I mean,
remembered
granted,
that movie?
they always do random references. Like, the wizard guy from, like, that one season.
Oh, Leonard?
He's, like, he's a
Mm.
reference to, like, this random, like, internet, like, video. What is it called? I know, like, that, you know, like, that dog comedian, like, it's, like, a comedian, but he uses, like, a dog puppet. Yeah, like, I had an interview with him.
I feel like I've seen it before.
Yeah, like, what's the wizard guy's name?
Leonard.
Yeah, like Leonard's like a parody of the guy he's interviewing. They have like random
wow.
yeah, no, they're like some random references like in like the whole franchise. So like the Ocean's 8 one's not. It's Ocean's 8 one is definitely, if you've seen the movie, you'll know it.
Yeah.
Because that one's just not as obvious.
Just TDI things.
You want to know what I want them to reference on Total Drama?
What?
I think that they should reference Revolutionary Girl, Utena.
I knew it was gonna be something so Shaycore.
So Shay Courts are. I think that they should reference it, and it's just like a character who happens to like, I don't know, really like fencing and roses, and then everyone be like, "Oh, it's a Steven Universe reference," and I kick everyone out. Like, I think that should happen.
Kick in the shin. No.
The stupidest thing
You're
I've
out.
ever
You're
said.
off the island.
I'm seeing like a lot of animes today. I don't know why. Like Danganronpa, like Style Execution.
Danganronpa.
I think that would be funny. Yeah, reality slipped far away. I think that would be funny. I know someone made like a Chris McLean, and like the bear from Danganronpa. Like they made an edit of them torturing people.
Oh wow.
And it was to a gorilla song, and it's really, really good.
There's a lot going on with this.
This is what happens when I barely have anything to say about. Well, I don't barely have anything to say about Total Drama, but this is what happens if like.
Yeah, no. I mean, it makes sense. Total Drama just comes up with just the randomest references. Like, I just think about the Slenderman reference in, what was it, All Stars? Yeah.
Oh, right.
Weird.
And one I think about a lot is just Chef being Samuel L. Jackson.
Well,
Pretty much.
yes.
Oh, fun fact, I don't know if you guys know this, but his voice actor now is the voice actor of Sonic and Sonic Prime.
Wait, really?
Mr. Devin Mack.
Yeah, so, yep. So I got my full circle moment because there was a joke with my friends. I think I even mentioned this in a Spider-Verse review. Damn, but I can make anything about Sonic. So if push comes to shove about Total Drama, like we got it.
There it is. There's the connection.
Why hasn't Total Drama done like a Sonic reference yet?
They've done like video game references, but that is one where it's like, like that's one where, when are you gonna do that? Maybe there is, and
Next season.
been a while.
Next season.
Yeah, because like the only thing I think of is like a more basic one with like the rings, but like I want like the most obscure character. You want to know what I want as a character?
Who?
Dr. Eggman, but specifically from the live dubs.
You're
And
gonna boot me off the island? I will tell Twitter.com right now.
yeah. I miss my wife, Chris.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Should we pause or should we just?
No, that's like
we
the
can
reference to the
pause.
video. No.
Oh, I gotta.
Oh.
I was like, oh my
No,
god.
it's like I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her very much. I'll be back.
Oh, I didn't know that was the last line that came after that.
For some reason, that's my favorite part of it, though.
Yeah.
It caught us by
What?
surprise.
Imagine they're like a bunch of droplets of acid rain. Like I would actually cry. I would want like the
Stop.
stupidest like references. I want someone to steal the moon. Someone farts on the moon.
Piss on the moon. Stop. Not
Yeah.
That'll be very on brand, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, like they would moon the moon, and then someone farts on it, and they're like, it's like Ripper, right? Like
Full circle. Get it?
Ripper's like, I'm gonna fart on the moon, and Axel's like, don't do it. This isn't you. Like she's like having it, like holding him in her hands, and she's like, don't do this. This isn't you. This isn't us. And he just does it.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a weird ship. What are our thoughts about Bowie and Raj? Cause I'm very happy to see such an openly like gay couple in Total Drama. I think specifically with Wayne being like such a supportive like friend to Raj. It's so cool to see like the Wayne just being real and saying, like, just hearing the word gay or bi, like, in Total Drama was so, like, eye-opening to me. I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
whoa, what?
Because
Okay.
I I think I mentioned this in the Kipo episode. If I didn't, I mean, now I'm gonna bring up. I do wish more cartoons would actually like say the sexualities like in the show.
Yeah.
And this is not like a cartoon. It's like a general thing I've noticed. With like mainly like teen and under shows. Like
Yeah.
it, like more so because it's. I don't know. It's just like nice to see, especially like in animation. Because I feel like in animation too, since there's like the whole like it's for kids, so kids shouldn't know like specifics. But I do like that in like total drama, they explicitly like said that. I also just like them. I like Bowie and Raj, and I think it's funny that like again my memory of like the previous season is basically wiped, except for some things. But I like how, like, low-key, no one, like, gave a fuck except for Wayne, because Wayne was so, supportive. Like, everyone's like, okay, good for you, but we have, like, a challenge to do.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah.
I was gonna tweet just like,
Oh
I'm
my
probably
gosh.
non-binary, but I gotta go to work tomorrow, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
For real.
Yes.
That's
well,
me.
yes.
He was like, yeah, we'll address this later, whatever.
Just adding on to what you were saying, Shay, it's really interesting because like back then with like media, whenever like characters are coming out, they like from what I've always heard, it's like, oh, you shouldn't explicitly say it because it'll just sound unnatural or like too on the nose.
That's
And
dumb.
like I used to, yeah, it's so dumb. Like I used to think that, and then now I'm just like, okay, I'm tired of hearing I like boys. And not saying the actual word because it's like now you're just saying it because it sounds like what I was just trying to explain.
And Terry being such a big part of, Total Drama from the beginning and being such an ally, I wonder how much of that stuff he wanted to like get in. But also seeing as there was like I said the jokes like about, Owen, everyone looking at him kind of like, dude, what the hell? It's kind of like he really has come a long way, and I think that's proof of it. But I think it is good, and I think it's like a good representation of like having, a character that's not even like traditionally filmed. Because like I said, Bowie's more of like, what someone's boomer uncle would think a gay person is like. But then like a character like Raj like doesn't have that like precognitive like. If I think it's nice that if you can like look at the cast and obviously you point out Bowie's like, oh no, because I remember it was announced before we even saw the cast that there would be like gay representation and disabled representation and whatnot. But
Yeah, for sure.
and like everyone like under the sun would be like pointing at Bowie and be like, okay, that's gonna be it. But then like you look at Raj and he's like traditionally like masculine and like he's a hockey bro and whatnot, and it's like a good subversion of expectations. And yeah, I think
Yes.
it's nice that we got that, and then we got like MK and Julia. We have a showrunner that's like very open about their support and whatnot. So I'm just glad that we live in this world.
Yeah, because I will say,
Yes.
with Terry also, like Terry specifically, I should say, one thing about him, I mean, granted, like, I don't know if he, like, wrote on 16 at all, but, like, if he did, or I don't know, like, if he had, like, more, like, external involvement with 16, because, like, that show had, like, a canon, like, lesbian character in that show. Like, granted, like, the show still wasn't, like, the best for, like, queer representation, because there were still, like, a lot of homophobic jokes, especially for the guys.
Oh, for sure.
But, like, that ally thing in his bio is not it's not for fun and games. Like, he's, like...
No.
Well, it makes me wonder, like, how diverse can we get in the future? Like, will there be a trans character? Will there be like a non-binary character under that umbrella?
Oh, for sure.
I really hope so.
That's another thing too, is that not only do I want like the longer seasons back, but I do want them to, if they're going to do a longer season, and how you want to explain that with a smaller cast, so you could bring in like Alejandro or Sierra, and like maybe you could bring in, we could have our cakes and eat it too, where we have like the representation for like a non-gender conforming like a character, but also keeping the cast that we know and love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think, too, with, like, if they introduce like a trans character, for example, I think also like they could also just do someone randomly from like the original cast. It's just like not brought up because it's not a big deal. Like I think that would be like also a good angle if they brought in like a trans character or even like a non-binary character. Yeah, like I think they could do that also. I hate that immediately in my mind because of like TDI is a parody of Survivor. Oh wait, maybe that's also what I want to bring up. So Survivor, right? This is like kind of a sad story, but I like that TDI is like very like embraces like I like how TDI has queer representation in their show, especially because like at least I don't watch Survivor. I just know like random stuff about because like there's a clip from Survivor that like because Survivor from my understanding was like a very like cool show in terms of like having queer contestants and having people be very supportive of them. Because there was like one season where there was a trans contestant and they didn't disclose that because they don't have to, right? Like they don't have to because like it's up to a person if they want to disclose things about themselves. But basically like during elimination, one of the contestants like outed them and me like everyone else immediately like start like lambasting this guy who outed them. Ooh. And I was like, I hate the way that this all happened for the trans contestant. However, I love how everyone immediately started like going after this guy. Because also the way the guy was like saying, he's like, oh, well, this person is trans, so they're being deceptive, which obviously isn't true. Yeah. Like, because they didn't, I'm like, just because they didn't disclose it to you, because they don't have to. Because one, it's the early 2000s, so it's like, it's not like even now, it's not like safe all the time, right? Like we've gotten better, but we still have like a lot of work to do. Yeah. But like in like for sure early 2000s though, that's hellish. So I just appreciate that like they like in Survivor that they like just berated this guy, and I like how in a weird way like TDI kind of feels like it carries that spirit. I don't know. This is a really weird tangent.
No, I definitely get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, no. I really like that connection because I haven't seen Survivor. Like, as a big TDI fan, I've not seen Survivor, so...
Same. I don't think most TDI fans have seen Survivor. Yeah. I would be very honest. Because Survivor came on... We were, like, what, 8 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was our Survivor. TDI was our Survivor.
I don't care about these people, like, in the woods, bro. Like, whatever.
Yeah, no, also because it's interesting, too, because even Survivor now has, like, that meta, like, thing where it's like, well, I'm on Survivor, and I've watched Survivor, so I know what to expect from it, kind of similar to how Priya is in TDI, where she's like, my parents are obsessed with TDI, and I know everything in TDI, to the point where I can TDI. like, I don't know, I find I like, the comparison's obvious because it's a parody, but, like, genuinely, like, the way that they go about it, it's literally just cartoon Survivor with slapstick. Like, that's what it is.
It's pretty much how you sum it up to. Yeah.
I was gonna say that the writing, for the most part, has been consistent with, like, how previous seasons has been, while also feeling like it's a slightly more mature. I mean, you still have, like, the fucking, like, puking and farts and stuff, where it's like...
Do kids even still like that?
Yeah, I don't think...
I'm curious.
Yeah, because Poopsie's surprise toys and, like, the barf toys and...
I think that, like, oh yeah, you're right, slime and whatnot. But I think that it's I think this season better written than All Stars and Packetel. Maybe Packetel. I don't know. All Stars. I don't know. I know that you've kind of come around on that, but I don't know. I think it's for the most part consistent with how the series has been. Yeah, not much to say on the writing. Like, consistent. I'm glad they still got it.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm on the same side of that, because I definitely can see, you know, Total Drama has kind of like character assassinated some characters as seasons went by and everything with the OG cast, but I'm very glad that they're paying a lot more attention to the consistency, at least like trying to, for this new cast and everything.
Oh, I guess like my one thing, I like the writing overall. This is like a humor thing. I think like my one thing, I agree with you guys. Like I think like this season was like pretty good writing, and I enjoyed it. And again, I was like invested, which I think is like one of the main things when watching TDI. I look for to be invested in whatever's going on and to laugh.
Real.
I think the one thing I did have like an issue was that like after a joke, I feel like there's too many comebacks. That makes sense. Like it would be like a really well written joke, but then they'll like add something just to like emphasize it, but it doesn't like work for me personally. But like other than that, I like the season. I thought the jokes are funny. I think it's just like sometimes like I don't think we need like 2 or 3 like outhouse confessionals after hammering it in, because I already got it hammered in my brain.
Makes sense. Did you have an example of that? If you don't, that's okay. I was just
Yeah,
wondering.
I don't have a specific one because it happened mainly like more so in like the beginning of the season. I know because there was like, what was it? It was like one joke I think someone said, and then MK had like a comeback, and then I think they had like Roger Wayne also have a comeback, but I was like, I didn't think it needed like 2. I think if they just left it at MK, it would have been fun, like fine. But
That
that's
makes
like
sense.
that's just like a personal like writing choice thing. It wasn't like this is deeply bothering me and ruining my enjoyment of the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, honestly. MK Yulia being in the same confessional every time in the second season. That's it. That's all I have.
Always in that outhouse.
Some big ass.
They're-
I was gonna say like, don't even sit on the toilet seat anymore. They just sit on separate sides.
Yeah, like I felt like, especially like at the end where they had the whole teams like for the final, like in the bathroom. I was like, there's too many of y'all in here to not be squished.
They don't care anymore, like.
Like it's not even like, because like they got a new one too, because in one of the challenges like Wayne like destroyed the whole side of it.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh yeah, like probably gonna just like be like that for the rest of the season, but no, like like they fixed it, so then it's all of them still in there. I think it's really funny.
Oh my god. Does anybody have any thoughts about any of like the art and animation? Cause I don't think I really have any. Besides like it's very kind of like Clone High 16-esque because like some people moved on to Total Drama, and then I thought of the joke where like Julia's like in the confessional in the first season and she ends up having 5 fingers instead of 4 fingers, which I thought it was really funny as she was like trying to figure out like how many people she can convince to eliminate somebody. But yeah.
One thing I will always admire about like the Total Drama franchise as a whole is that they will stick to that style. They will stick to that style even if it's technically not in trend. Although I think now it's like becoming more in trend just because of okay, so like we're gonna talk about art style trends in animation, and I'm gonna mention Cal art style stupid debate.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in the early 2000s, like, if you, like, watch a lot of cartoons, a lot of them have, like, very, like, they're very shape-based and, like, very, very angular because of, like, at the time, they're, like, a lot of the cartoons were based on, like, UPA cartoons, which had, like, that similar thing. I think that's, like, back in the 70s. As, like, the 2010s roll around, to counteract that, it's, like, more, like, bubbly and round and stuff. Also, this is not counting and how in the early 2000s there's also like that extra boom of anime, so we got a lot of anime inspired shows. We're ignoring that. But Total Drama Island came out like around like that UPA like period where everything's very shape based, and also like a lot of Canadian cartoons that were like imported to America just kind of look like that for some reason, even if it's not by the same team. It just does, and I always kind of like that. Now I think about every cartoon I think about from Canada is the same team, so my point is probably wrong. But I like that Total Drama never really like ventured away from like how shape based it is, how exaggerated it is, because it just feels like a proper identity, especially like when we started getting like the big reboot boom where like art styles would change, but like they're changing with the trends, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
But like if let's say Total Drama Island like decided to be really round and squishy, it wouldn't feel right. And also I don't think it would work for the kind of show that it is. Like similar to kind of how like the Powerpuff Girls reboot like rounded out every edge.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels off, because the thing I think about when I think about Powerpuff Girls is very like strong silhouettes. Even though there are like rounded corners in Powerpuff Girls, obviously, right? Like the girls themselves are very circular. The thing is that the world around them is very angular and cold. And it also like they still have like very sharp angles where it matters on their design. So like when they rounded it out for 2016, it didn't feel like as punchy, in my opinion. Basically what I'm saying is I like that Total Drama, like they stick with their style because it works for them the best. Like if I see like round Chris McLean, I would run for the hills. Like
round Chris McLean.
I was already like, because it's like the one thing I personally like never really like enjoyed in the TDI style is when their eyes get like super big and sparkly, because it feels wrong. It feels wrong. And that happened a few times this season. I was like, that's scary, but slay, but that's scary. Stop getting emotional.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think their art style, it's if you watch like the first season TDI and you plop these characters there, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, like they fit in. I think like the only like odd one out like characters are from like the season with like Snow White and the guy.
Ella.
Yeah, and like the mad scientist guy, I think too.
Max.
Yeah, I don't know their names. I just know what they
That's
look like.
okay.
I feel like Dramarama was kind of that version of like doing a round style.
Yeah, but even
which, like,
then, like,
cool, it's a spin-off.
Even then, Total Dramarama, like, design philosophy-wise is the same.
Yeah.
It's also just because, like, babies are usually more round, too.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to round out, like, baby features. But even then, like, I like the art direction of Total Dramarama because, like, they just kind of stuck to their guns. They just made everyone babies. And Chef's there. And Chris is like, I don't know where Chris was. Was he in jail? Probably.
Dramarama is such a special case, but I'm glad their art style's consistent.
I'm gonna go on a Dramarama tangent. I know that 16 and Total Drama are in the same universe. I know that. I'm aware of that. But them adding Jude actually like messed up my brain.
Yeah.
Like, for multiple reasons.
So weird.
Also, because I know it's like an alternate reality spinoff. I'm aware of this. I am aware of what Total Dramarama is. I know. However, it's like, because Redonkulous Race already happened, and Redonkulous Race was like, oh yeah, like, my old babysitter Jen. I was like, oh yeah, Jen from 16. I'm like, and I know they're older than, like, everyone in Total Drama. And so seeing Jude there, I'm like, why are you there? We could have gotten a different character who's literally the same as Jude.
No, I mean, that's fair. Like, it's so random. I think they just wanted the original voice actor of Chris back somehow.
Then make Chris the superintendent of the preschool. Like,
no, really.
Like, let the kids torture him for once, and then it's like, oh, they got their comeuppance.
Oh, that's smart. That would have been smart. They should have put you on Fresh TV.
Fresh TV, if you want to hire me and pay for my visa, that would be really cool. And help me relocate. But yeah, I like that part. Oh, the other thing I want to mention about the art style. This is like so stupid. No, there's two things actually. There's two very specific things. One is front-facing Caleb is less scary to me than the normal 3/4 view Caleb that we see. That's it. And then I also wanted to shout out Miss Megaphone 3D Pan .move, which is just the shot that they use every time Chris is calling them for the challenge.
I was so confused at what you were referencing. I'm like, oh, it's just the
it's
big
the
megaphone.
so basically, if you haven't seen it, it's a megaphone, but like it's the same shot of the megaphone. It just tilts up to show it's a 3D model.
I
Challenge
love
time.
About the animation. I think it's pretty consistent, but I just love two things: that it's like the HD era of the show, and they haven't lost like the quality, but also the opening shots of like just animals like standing, enjoying the nature. I remember
Oh
the
yes,
raccoon.
yes. The raccoon. The raccoon always gets
Man.
me. Man, it's giving that meme. It's the raccoon sitting there with its coffee watching the sunset. Jeremy and I had that as like a wallpaper for a bit.
Wait, I think I
Yeah.
remember like seeing it at some point. And I was like, oh, this is like normal business.
Exactly.
Oh, I also should mention, so I mentioned like the 3D megaphone tilt dot move. The 3D is actually really well implemented this season. I really like it.
Love.
It's good. Like there's some 3D ass there's like a drone shot that's like basically just like Miss Megaphone. And there's like another one that's like there's like another random like 3D shot. I'm like, whoa, okay. But like then they also have like I think like a car was a 3D asset or something and some boxes. They looked good. And they use it sparingly too, but they looked really good. I like them. I'm not a 3D major, so if anyone who's like into 3D thinks they look like trash, that's your opinion.
Shout out to my partner who's a 3D person.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know if this is related, but the like the elimination sequence.
Oh
that
yeah, they made them
use-
more cinematic now.
Yeah. With like the fire sticks and the moon. That's kind of cool. Love a transition.
Oh, I also like how the cop dogs were designed. I think
But they all had like different. They had fun designs. Yeah.
I especially
Yeah.
love I think it's Edward Scissor, like all of them were good. Edward Scissorjaws is my favorite name, but I love like the one with the glasses, and I love the one with the metal teeth, like the bear trap teeth.
Oh.
Very fun. Very, very fun.
It's coming back to me.
Total Drama has a thing where like all their animals kind of have like a standard design. So that one was like kind of fun to have like all these different looking dogs when they could have just made the same model, different colors or whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I know that in like the episode, it was episode 12, I think, when they had to do like the fear stuff. Like the old people's like the two tennis guys from Donkulus Race. And like Julie's like, ew, old people in marmalade.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered. That seeing MacArthur from Redonkulous Race in that episode was so random to me, but like, okay, slay. Like she appeared in Total Drama Rama too. Yeah.
I want Dawn and Chris to meet. I feel like Dawn will call like the police or whatever they have in Canada.
That'd be so funny.
Don was so chill.
No, they have like the mountain guys, I think. This is a joke. I know you guys have police. I'm sorry, Canada. But also, I'm not sorry to
They
Canada.
don't
Yes.
have police in
Exactly.
Canada.
I mean, speaking of, I mean, how do we feel about Terry voicing Chris? Like, I think for me, I kind of immediately got used to it because he kind of just got like the Chris cadence down, I think.
Yeah. For me, I think it's always weird. I think like when I go into the seasons, I don't rewatch Total Drama like that much. But I know like the original Chris McLean voice like is ingrained in my mind. Cause I think when you watch like the seasons itself, you just get so used to it. Or if you like watch them back to back, you get used to it like super fast, like by the end of the episode. But like I feel like when you go in, it's a little jarring, still. But like it's not.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's like the cadence is there, the energy's there. Like it's really good. It's just like more so if you're so used to like the old voice. This is like for people who haven't like seen like anything yet. You're gonna go into the new season. You'll get used to it really fast. It just like if you just take long season breaks like I do, you might have to just like readjust a little bit at the like for the first episode, but then it's like fine after.
Yeah, I thought it would take a while for me to get because I saw a promo for it before I saw the season, and I was like, oh no. Then I watched it, and you get pretty used to it fast. I think what hurts the most is just that like I used to impersonate like the original VAs so much, like attention all campers, and now I gotta like do a different voice. But yeah, no. And the reason why they replaced them allegedly is like a good reason. So
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, I'm not like it's. Do you guys ever think about how like YouTuber voice is just a Chris McLean like impression?
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Today I'm gonna put 100 people in a room,
Mr. Beast.
and we're gonna see who can
Not
get
cool,
$1 million.
dude.
Like that's what it feels.
Squid Games.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Squid Game reference in the
Oh,
first
yeah.
episode of the second season too. It's full circle.
Squid Game really is just they just copied like Total Drama Island and said that was okay.
Right.
Wait, I'm sorry. Like this is like a random question. It's related to Total Drama but in a really stupid way. Have you guys played Hunger Games Simulator with the Total Drama cast? Because it's really fun.
Yeah, like the little
It's so
text, the
fun.
text one where you just put the pictures in it. With
Yeah. Because what me and previous guest Patty would do, because we shared a room, college. Like when we were bored, we would literally just do Hunger Games Simulator, but we always did Total Drama characters because it's like basically the same thing.
I mean, yeah.
And I don't know, it's just like so funny. Is there something so fun about it compared to like the normal like Total Drama like format? Because that is available like on like the simulator thing. I don't know, something about Hunger Games Simulator and Total Drama that like really really like makes it fun. And then also for some reason you start making up plot lines because it was like I think Katie kept getting to the end but like Sadie kept dying and the person who kills Sadie kept getting far too. So it's just like, okay, Katie is avenging Sadie. Like it's stupid. This is such a stupid tangent.
No, you're fine. I think I've done it previously a bunch of times. Yeah, no, they're pretty fun, especially if they're like on character with a character. It's it gets pretty interesting. But also, with Chef's voice actor Devin Mack, I think he does a really good job. Because he voices Chef in Total Drama Rama, and then, for the new seasons too now. So it's really cool to see Chef more like involved in the game and everything. And I love that like Chef is also like kind of just the mom at this point because he's just tired of like Chris's schemes, I think.
Yeah. I didn't realize that Chef's voice actor changed until you said it, like this episode, to be honest.
It's a bit more like high. It's like higher.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too noticeable. It's more of an adjustment than Chris.
Yeah. Like, I also like that Chef's like a proper like co-host now. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got like a button up and stuff now.
Yeah, like they don't keep him in like the chef
he
costume. I do miss his hat, like low key, just for like silhouette reasons. But even that, it's like
yeah,
he has like
Yeah.
everyone in Total Drama for the most part has like a distinguishable silhouette. Mainly with like hair and like some clothing choices. So like it's not like too bad. I'm just like kind of miss his hat sometimes. Like I think last season did he put on like the original chef outfit like once?
Yeah, I think it was for the Barth episode.
Yeah, because he was actually
I think
cooking.
so, yeah.
He was cooking. Chef's delicacies.
Oh, I do miss like actually
Yeah.
seeing like chef's food. I think that's the thing I actually miss because we're not really in the cafeteria like as much while they're eating. I feel like it's just more so like they're just kind of there and they're like talking. But there's like there's no plates of slop. Where's my plates of slop?
I need the slop.
Yeah.
In the mess hall, yeah. Overall, really, really great reboot, I think. Like, I really enjoyed this cast a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I like this season more than
for
last
sure.
season, I think. Yeah, because, I mean, last season, did we watch in a day or 2 days, Kate?
Honestly, I think it was, oh man. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one day that we all finished it. Me, you, and Patty.
Yeah, because I think it was
Yeah.
2 days, because I think we were almost going to finish, and then we said, we need to do something else, and then...
Yeah. Sleepover.
Yeah. I like this
Yeah.
season more. It felt like, I don't know, I think also like the challenges felt like it wasn't like the previous challenges weren't like memorable. It's just like these ones especially like stick out to me. Like I think like episode 5's like my favorite episode too. It's so stupid.
Which one's that one?
Oh, it's the one where they're trapped in like the ice cave and like
Oh,
like
yeah.
with the hair dryer, and then like Z like one of my notes is literally Z's radioactive piss in all caps.
Oh my god.
And then I said, yeah, he's going home.
Hello.
Because he melted an ice cap because he had to pee.
Yeah, because he had to drink all that soda from being like a sponsor, and he was trying not to like say anything about Priya and Caleb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was funny.
this is the episode where Nichelle left, so I was going through a lot this
radioactive
episode.
piss. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like, oh, this is like such a fun. Also, it's like when like the most manipulation and like conflict was happening. Like on all like things, because like Bowie and Raj's like whole like the whole cheating.
Oh yes.
Arc peaked here. Yeah, because then like Z knew about the whole like Priya and Caleb thing, and then
Drama.
yeah, it was just like a lot of stuff was just happening. I was like enjoying it, and I was like, okay, I also wanted like a scene where Raj got angry about cheating, and I got that. I'm here for mess.
Yes. It's total drama for a reason.
Yeah, like sometimes they're a little too friendly on the show. Like a little too friendly for my. I'm like, we need more mess. I need more drama.
I liked that a lot. And then with the whole Z thing, it reminded Jeremy and I about like Gwen and Duncan and like Tyler knowing them kissing. Like like it Z was definitely a Tyler moment there.
You wanna know what I wrote like before the episode was done? Can I like write the notes as I'm watching?
Yeah.
I wrote, if Nichelle goes home, goodbye to me.
No.
And then several notes later, they hate me. Nichelle left because of a script.
A fake one. She got
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
She got cast in
yeah.
the MCU.
I like jinxed it. But I was happy that Julie did it. Like I was like, this is fun actually.
Yeah. Oh, MK and Julia, them cheating. MK being a fake intern for a while.
That's such like a funny thing. I was like sitting, because it was like also one of those things where I was like, I feel like Chris would enjoy this, so he's not doing anything about it. I'm like, he probably knows.
Yeah. Silly mustache just over her face.
Yeah, like it's just like if MK didn't take the hairdryer, she probably would have made it to the end, like the actual like end.
Honestly, it was Chris's hairdryer, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like and it messed, and so Chris had like the bad hair day, so it became personal.
It became personal. No more gay people winning.
Yeah, he said, you know what? I'm not gonna say that joke.
Oh, okay.
He said-
Say
Actually,
it.
no. He said, yeah, I do feel like a little homophobic. I do feel a little homophobic this
Oh
season.
my goodness.
Chef, press the button.
Gone.
And they sent everyone home. Primo special. Such a
Pride Month
bogus
special.
Primo
It's-
special. I'm so sorry for all the things that come out.
It's okay.
All the stuff that comes out of my mouth feels like a hate
It's okay.
crime.
We're all clear here. This is a safe space.
Prime Month special, everybody.
Every day, the space gets a little more
Real.
unsafe.
Yeah. But does anybody else have any closing thoughts about Total Drama Island Reboot before we wrap up?
I have a question for Congress. For
Yes.
the 3rd season, do we want to stay on the island? And if not, what concept do we want?
Oh my god. I had this on my notes and I forgot to mention that. So thank you for asking that question.
You're welcome.
Yes, like I would love to keep this cast obviously and have like a rendition of like action or world tour. Like
Ooh,
I would
yeah.
be fine with either or cuz that would be really awesome.
I would really want, I want action, because I know they'll do, a Marvel parody and stuff. Like, they have to.
More action.
But I would
Yes.
kind of want action mixed with World Tour. If that,
Okay.
like, where it's like, okay, yeah, they're doing like films and stuff, and obviously like they're gonna have to like travel a bit, but then also like I want the songs, because the one thing about World Tour, say what you want about World Tour, those songs were good.
Smacked.
Like, they were really good, and like I don't like, granted, like, I don't know like everyone's singing background for like the World Tour cast, but like they all like could at least hold a note and it was like good, and I would kind of want to see that with this new cast. Like, it doesn't have to be like a song every episode either. It could be like we have like a musical episode or like a few musical episodes, but if we didn't have to like redo like Action or World Tour, I don't know what I would want. Okay, let's say Total Drama Island jumped another shark. Another one.
Mm-hmm.
Total Drama in space.
Oh, wow. Space arc.
Yeah. Because, like, thing about Total Drama, it's already so absurd. Like, it's so absurd already. They've definitely jumped, like, a couple of sharks already. We could do the space season. Like, I think it'd be really funny if, like, we just, like, went, oh yeah, we're on the island. And then it's just suddenly space. Like, I think it would be the funniest thing.
Just kidding. Right. Chris would pull that, honestly.
Brother Show Season 6.
He's like, turns out this new island is... Oh, wait, is the island still the original one? Did they, like, retcon that?
I think they said it was a new one, but it has similar landmarks.
I think it'd be funny. He's like, oh, actually, this island's like a spaceship. He wouldn't. I think that would be a little too absurd. But I think if they just did, like, a space season, it wouldn't be absurd. Like, they're just, like, on a spaceship. And every time someone gets eliminated, it's like the dock of shame, but except, like, they just get sucked into a black hole.
Oh my god. D word.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
no.
I think it'd be kind of funny.
Black hole of shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would want to see something shift from like the island, but whatever it is, I mostly as long as the story and the characters are good, then I'm there.
100%. Definitely when Total Drama is coming out, releasing episodes on Cartoon Network and on Max, please give it a watch, as it gives more potential for more seasons to come and for this amazing cast to flourish even more. Thank you all so much for listening to the 1224 podcast. If you made it this far, thank you so much. We really appreciate you listeners. Let us know in the comments on your thoughts about the new Total Drama Island reboot. Do we like it? Do we not like it? What's good? What's the total drama here? Thank you so much, Jeremy, for speaking with us on our Pride Month special. We really appreciate you being here with us.
Glad to be
Happy
here.
Pride Month to you all. You all are so valid and so amazing people. We love you all for those in the LGBTQ plus community. And this is the 1224 podcast. I'm Kate.
I'm Shay.
And it's me, Jeremy.
And we'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.